guys, welcome to the English version of my video in Spanish on how to learn a language super easy. Here I'm gonna give you some tips that I learned while I was learning English and German in two different ways, but they're so easy and they're gonna help you so much, so I'm really excited because I know this video is gonna help you so much. So please, if you're not subscribed, click on the bottom so you help me to grow this channel, and that'll be amazing. I'll be so thankful. And now let's start with the video. I don't know why I make so many faces, that's so weird. Okay guys, so the first tip I have for you is motivation. You can't give up on learning a language because the more you learn, the more you're gonna fall in love with the language. Trust me, this happened to me when I was learning German. I was like, okay, I have no idea what this is, I don't understand this at all, I don't want to learn this anymore. But then I kept learning and now I'm so happy because I can understand so much, and that's like a goal for me. And I really need to learn German, but if you don't have this motivation of really having to learn German and that's why you do it, motivate yourself. Think, the more I know, the more I'm gonna like it. The more I know, the more I'm gonna like it. Because if you give up, you're never gonna learn it anyway. So you have to be constant and you have to have motivation. And any language, not just German, I'm just giving my example. Okay, and this tip, I think it's so important for those of you who actually don't speak the language at all, you don't even know how to say hi. I think having a basic grammar is super important, and you not only can do this or acquire this knowledge in a course, you can also do it online. And you can find a curriculum with topics that you need, grammar things, and then you can look on YouTube. There's so many videos you can look at, and there are websites where they give you exercises you can make. It's awesome. Let's take advantage of the internet because that's what's good for when you start on some languages. And at the same time you're learning this grammar, I know this is gonna sound super cliche because everybody says it, but there's a reason why everybody says it. You have to watch movies and listen to music in the language you're trying to learn. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. This, I did it when I was a kid and I learned English and I didn't even realize I was learning English at that time. And then when I knew how to speak English, people will ask me like, why do you know how to speak English, or how do you know? I'm like, I have no idea. This is the reason why. I used to watch so many movies, or all the movies I used to watch were in English, and I used to listen to music and I used to sing them and I had no idea what I was saying. But then I started to look at the lyrics and then I started to learn them, and then when I was translating them I learned so much vocabulary. Why? Because I had the songs already in my head, I had the words already in my head, because you know the rhythm makes you learn the songs and you learn vocabulary. That's the easiest way to learn vocabulary because you already know the words. Once you know what they mean, it's easier to connect them. And the movies. Why is it so important to watch movies? Because you can hear how native speakers speak. You can hear the accent, you can learn the accent and have it in your ears. And then it's gonna be easier for you to speak. And of course, so many people have told me watch kids movies because they speak clearer. Yeah, at the beginning I think it's good, but then you also have to get used to listen to people speaking with their actual speed of a native speaker. Not everybody's gonna talk like this, so you have to get used to it, and this is super important, and this is gonna help you so much. Which leads us to the next tip, and this is also something that's super cliche that everybody says it, and is think on the language you want to learn. What are you talking about? How am I gonna learn the language by thinking in the language if I have no idea what so many words mean? Well, what you do, for example, if you're learning Spanish and you know how to say la casa, the house, is yellow, but you don't know how to say yellow, then you say la casa es, and then instead of saying yellow and connect it to English, you will say yalarara, or just like make a word up. And then you're not gonna connect these two languages and you're not gonna go back to English, but instead you're gonna have a new word. And when you learn that la casa is amarilla, amarilla means yellow or amarillo, then you're gonna connect this easier than if you do it to yellow, and then you're gonna replace these words you didn't know. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it will make sense for you when you're learning the language. It would. Then it's gonna be easier for your brain to adapt to this new word. And of course, you can't think on language 24/7, but sometimes if you're at home, you just sit down and say, oh, now I have to go grocery shopping, then I have to pick up my kids from school, or now I have to go to school, I have to do my homework, I have to call my mom. If you think these simple phrases, then it's going to be easier for you. And another thing that also connects to this tip is, if you have the opportunity to meet someone that's a native speaker of the language you're trying to learn, well, then take advantage of this. Speak with them, text them, or always try to keep in contact with them. And also, if you don't have the opportunity to speak with a native speaker in person, you can do it also online. There are some apps you have to pay, but it's not too expensive, and there are actually some you don't have to pay. You can look it up depending on the language you want to learn. Of course, save pages, please. And that's gonna be super easy. And if you don't have the opportunity to do this, then you can also go on YouTube and look for interviews of famous people who speak this language, and then you answer to that person who's asking the question. You do it, and that way you can also practice on thinking in the language. You can also practice that while you're talking to yourself, while a guy on a computer is talking, on the phone is talking. That's very useful. And this is I think the most important step is, don't be afraid to speak. Don't be ashamed to speak, because nobody cares. If you speak and you have an accent, it's even cute. Like, even if people laugh, it's because it's cute, because it sounds cute and funny. If you ever perfection a language, it's gonna take some time. So everybody understands it, and maybe the person that you're afraid of is also learning a language, so why would he make fun of you? And even if some people do, just don't pay attention to them, because you're the one who's learning a new language, not them. So they probably never tried, and they don't know how it feels to learn a new language, and they just make fun of it because they don't know. So just don't be afraid. Trust me, I'm afraid, and I am so ashamed of doing it, but don't stay there. Try to lose that feeling of shame and start talking. Start not caring so much about it, and then you're gonna be able to communicate. Because if you can hear, you can if you can hear, you can read, you can understand, but you can't speak, then you're never gonna be able to communicate. So that's very important. That's the most important thing. And you guys, this is it. This is the end of the videos, and these are all the tips I have for you. Trust me, they're gonna help you so much. I'm so excited for you to tell me how much they've helped you. And I want to know how many languages you speak, or what language you speak, what's your mother language, and what language you want to learn in the future. So you tell me that, and trust me, this is gonna help you learn a language so much easier and faster. It's because this is a very, very fun way to learn a language, so trust me, that's why it's gonna be so much easier and so much faster to learn it, because you're gonna have fun at the same time, and you're gonna have that motivation that you maybe are lacking of. So super recommended. So I send you huge kiss, and see you next time. And if you want to watch more of my videos, they have, most of them, they have English subtitles, so you can activate them, and the closed captions, so you can watch some of my videos. And if you're interested in learning Spanish, why not?